Hey, it's your girl, Dr. J. We are in April, and this is Autism Awareness Month. Listen, the thought that I bring to you is this: Autism speaks, but are we listening? Are we listening to the very unique and interesting way of how people with autism go about their day to day lives? Whether it might be some deficiency in the communication, or if there is communication, if there's a pattern of the repetition of behavior, or is there a deficiency in how they communicate. Autism speaks, but are we listening? I want to start out by shouting out parents and people with persons in their lives that are ASD, autism spectrum disorder, how you share your daily lives, their daily lives, so that people can become more familiar and in the know and more knowledgeable of what autism looks like. Because here's the thing: each person has a set of distinct strengths and differences with autism. So again, autism speak, but are you listening? The reason why this is important to me, I have a client that I was dealing with called me from Hughes Baldwin Children's Hospital on last evening. Because one of her kids were running a fever. She got there. The kids were relatively active. One of her children, age 7, is on the spectrum. The younger one, we've been paying attention to some of the behavior and some of the repetitive behaviors that we see in the oldest son and how autism is defined. There's a chance that the child may be autistic, and nevertheless she has her child on the waiting list to be seen and evaluated by the Leslie Rubin firm at the Hugh Spalding Children's Hospital. But I'm bringing this to you because the thought that I provoked earlier: autism speaks, but are you listening? She had a little confrontation with someone working in the social work department, and because of the way how she was managing the behavior of her son, it raised some concern. Calls her to call the social worker. Of course, it got my client all upset. She gave me a call. She said, "You need to speak with this lady. This lady is accusing me of not being able to manage my, children." Got on the phone, spoke with the lady a little bit. She began to tell me how some of the behavior was playing out. She shared with me that she had a ringworm rash on her arm because kids were trying to hug her. And my client's son, who is more verbal now and is developing in his social skills, so he learns to give people hugs. And so that was a great milestone. And so I shared with him, I said, "Well, he's on the spectrum. If you look in the file, I'm sure you saw that." I said, "But I would think that you would commend him because the social interaction shows that there was some strength in his social communication, that he wanted to give you a hug in the first place." And so at the bottom line, I had to say to her, "Listen, autism speak, but are you listening?" Me and her had this dialogue. It gave her an opportunity to ask questions. Then she was able to have a better understanding of some of the things that were playing out while my client was trying to console and at the same time just kind of control some of the behavior that was going on. So I want to say to any and everybody, if you are familiar with autism or if you are engaging with someone, again, autism looks very different for everyone. Everybody with autism has a distinct set of strengths and challenges that we must be aware of. And here's the thing: when autism speaks, make sure that we are listening. Listening gives us understanding, and it also gives a level of, or bring a level of compassion. Well, that's just my perspective from your girl, Dr. J. When autism speak, learn to listen.